Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I am Jeremy Birmingham. This is Birminology, and it is a commitment edition of Birminology. Today's guest is Langston Hughes High School, Fairburn, Georgia, four-star quarterback Air Noland. He has made his college decision, and it is the Buckeyes, and now we're going to ask him why that is. Let's get to it. Air, congratulations, man. You've just made the announcement. How does it feel to have this over with?
Man, it feels great. These past couple of weeks been, going crazy. It's been overwhelming, if you would say, but it feels great to make the decision and be able to say that I'm a Buckeye.
That back and forth that you guys have to go with in these last few weeks leading up to a decision has to just be chaos, right? I mean, you have not only every fan base in the country tweeting at you and tagging you on Instagram and created posts and all this stuff. Every media member from every school that you've ever considered is still calling you and trying to figure out what you're thinking, where you're going. Coaches that maybe have started to feel like things are going in the wrong direction start to ramp up their activity and get more aggressive. How do you even deal with it all? And how do you keep smiling about it? That's what I guess I'm trying to figure out. How do you even watch all that chaos and then still enjoy yourself?
First, you have to enjoy it, the process, the things that come with it. And, when making a business decision like this, it's going to be a lot of chaos. Coaches are going to be coming at you from left and right and behind you. So, you just have to keep your life balanced, make sure you're having fun while doing it, but also, just keeping the main thing and staying focused and making sure you make the right decision throughout, all the chaos and, all the craziness, the text messages, the calls, but you just have to make sure that school is the right fit for you.
Is there a sense now that this is over, you've made the decision that come Monday morning, you'll call Verizon and ask them to change your cell phone number?
maybe, man. My phone's been blowing up, but this is the business aspect of it. This is what comes with it. But I might call Verizon Monday morning and let them
It's
know.
not a bad idea. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's not a bad idea because it's not going to get better. It's only April. You got 8 months of this still where, it's time to maybe to readjust that circle. When you're talking about this decision, Air, let's go back to last weekend and then work from there. You made your first visit to Ohio State. This is a relationship that's been building since basically October when they started to watch you play in person.
Right.
Down there at Langston Hughes. You won a state championship. Corey Dennis, Ryan Day saw you play as you're the quarterback with Jelani Thurman. They come to see you throw in January. They obviously like who you are a lot as a person, but I think that the intention from Ohio State was, if you're serious about us, come see us, and then you did, right? And then you show up on campus. What was that first step on campus like, and was it immediate for you that it reaffirmed what you had already thought that Ohio State would be?
Oh man, on campus it felt great. I felt very comfortable, walking around campus and getting to see campus for the first time at Ohio State, and I felt very comfortable doing it. To get on campus and finally get on campus at Ohio State was very important for me because I know how serious Coach Dennis, Coach Day, and Coach Hartline were about me. So to get on campus felt very great, and then they've been recruiting me very hard since October. So, for those guys to, show up to my school a couple times and show that they're very serious about me, it kind of showed that I need to get my butt up to Ohio State, and that's what I did with my mom.
Obviously Jelani's been there since January, and I know you speak with him about the program. He probably told you a lot of stuff about how his first 2 months on campus had gone. Right. Did you believe it? And was it, obvious to see that he was enjoying himself when you got there? And how much did that help make you feel comfortable with this choice?
I definitely believe that, if Jelani tells me something, it's 10 times out of 10 it's true. So, his first 2 months at Ohio State was very great for him. And he kind of, gave me feedback on it. And, he told me I need to, get up there and see what Columbus was all about. So, Jelani, he always keep it, authentic with me and lets me know, why Ohio State, is a perfect fit for me. And, him being a teammate of mine in high school, it helps me out a lot. He makes my job very easy and makes my job easier on and off the field. And, Jelani, man, I think, Ohio State was a great fit for me. And now it's like Ohio State is a great fit for me and him. So, it's great to see my teammate, at Ohio State at a great program like yourself. And then, we'll be able to connect and see each other again in college.
As you're there on campus last weekend, it's Student Appreciation Day. There's a big scrimmage going on. There's 50 other recruits that are there. How did Ryan Day and Corey Dennis still make you feel like you were a priority with all that going on? And was that something that maybe you needed to see from them to know that, hey, you are their guy?
Yes, most definitely. That was my first visit, and first time going up to Ohio itself, and then my first time visiting Ohio State. So, Coach Day and Coach Dennis made sure they spent plenty of time with me in meetings, even taking me out to dinner, et cetera. Even Coach Hartline. So, those guys made sure they prioritized me and made sure I felt very prioritized. Watching practice, walking around campus, meeting them, getting to meet Coach Dennis, wife, and hopefully I'll meet his baby boy soon. But he and Coach Day made sure I felt prioritized and made sure my mom knew I felt prioritized. They welcome us with great arms and genuine.
I think that's probably, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I often am. My wife tells me all the time. If I would imagine in the last few days, what you've heard from other schools is Ohio State waited so long to offer, they didn't really want you. Do you have to stack that up against how it actually felt when you were there, right? And what you've actually experienced personally.
Right.
Has it been hard or harder than you expected or easier than you expected to separate sort of the real from the fake in recruiting?
Uh, my parents raised me very well, so I kind of know when it's the real or the fake. But with a school like Ohio State, they, of course they had the decommitment, so they want to make sure that they're getting the right guy. And from me, evaluating Ohio State, I want to make sure that that was the right school for me. So going in, I felt that that was the right school for me. But going around campus and walking around and seeing the practices and seeing the meetings, I just felt that comfortability and that home feeling type of environment when I got to Ohio State. So, them coming in late, I wouldn't say played a factor. It's something I looked at, but, once I seen how hard they recruited me and how well, Coach Day and Coach Dennis, seriously wanted me, that kind of was the factor for me. Every school isn't going to come in, early like a regular college. When you're dealing with a school like Ohio State, it's not a regular school. You're a top tier type of program. So I want to be a part of that, and I'm going to be a part of that. And I'm just going to help it excel. Them coming in late didn't play in a factor for real. I know Coach Dennis and Coach Day. How serious they are about it.
As a quarterback, getting a chance to watch their offense up close and personal last week, seeing what they do in meetings, how did you know that offense fit you the way that you're looking for? What makes that offense the right fit for you? I want you to answer this question without mentioning the words wide receivers, okay? Because I know those receivers are certainly important, but what about the offense makes you know that it's the right fit for you?
I would say the power that they give the quarterback. A lot of quarterbacks don't get prepared for, the next level, which is the league. And I think Ohio State is preparing their quarterbacks for the next level, which is the league. You have a balanced offense. They can run or throw the ball at any given time. But also their offense is very open. And, you got Coach Hartline as the offensive coordinator now. So you're going to get a lot of, throwing type of days at Ohio State. So, them be able to open up the offense and, take shots downfield, but also, just learn the right terminology and learn, the right things to get to the next level. That's what stuck out most about Ohio State and, the offense that I think, fits me best. Ohio State, offense is very quarterback orientated. The quarterback has to know, what not to do and what to do and be on his P's and Q's. And, you want that, from a quarterback, and a high school recruit looking in at Ohio State. And that's what was eye-opening for me.
And those wide receivers don't hurt, right? I mean, it's a pretty crazy group. You won't get to play with Marvin Harrison in college because he's going to certainly be off to the NFL after this season. But the next version of Marvin Harrison is playing wide receiver right now down in Florida and is committed to Ohio State. And that's Jeremiah Smith, who you've gotten to get to know pretty well, helping and playing with South Florida Express. And How important was Jeremiah in this decision, and getting to know him, and hearing from him why he picked Ohio State, and Brian Hartline, because you are really the first quarterback that Brian Hartline has played a role in recruiting. So I'm interested in what he did, or how his influence impacted this.
Yeah, first and foremost, Jeremiah, he's a great kid. Like, you get around him, you see why, he's the number one player in the country. And, you see why, he's committed to a school like Ohio State. So, being around Jeremiah, he's rare. You're rare to get a person around him or get around a person like himself. So, Jeremiah, he's down to business. He loves having fun, but he's a great person and whole outside of football. Man, he loves just being himself. He's going to be himself at all times, and that's why I like being around him and like chatting with him and catching up with him when I can. But Coach Hartline, man, he's of course he just got the job, but he's actually played into role in getting me to commit to Ohio State. So Coach Hartline, man, he's a funny dude. He's very 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 funny. He loves the game of football. Of course, he played himself. You're not gonna get that type of relationship from a player, not from a player, but from a coach. That has been and done it what you want to do in life. But Coach Hartline, man, he's always hitting me up, man. That's my guy. And, I think he's gonna do a great job at Ohio State. Being an offensive coordinator.
Now committed to Ohio State, the Buckeyes recruiting class has been, let's just say, picking up some steam in the last few weeks, right? I mean, it started with offensive linemen, then you see James Peoples, then you see Mylan Graham, and now you. This is not a coincidence. Everything sort of happens for a reason. How eager are you, or how willing are you to be that vocal leader and the guy that's out there saying to other kids, "Hey, this is where it's going to be. So now it's time to get on board."
Yeah, I'm very willing to do that. Being a quarterback, you have to recruit. You have to lead your class and show that this is why I feel like Ohio State is the best fit for that particular player. But I'm going to go out and recruit and come at everybody that I feel can fit at Ohio State and help Ohio State excel. When I step foot on campus. So I'm going to go out and recruit, and I've been recruiting before I committed. So I want to make sure not only me but Ohio State is in great hands. On the field and off the field.
Heading into your senior year, I assume the plan is to enroll early like Jelani did, but
Right.
what do you want to accomplish between now and December? Obviously, you won a state championship a year ago. You went undefeated. Going back and defending that is priority one. But how do you improve yourself as a player now to the time you sign your letter of intent?
Just of course, standing in the lab on a daily basis. Of course, we're in the off season right now, so I want to make sure I'm getting stronger. In the weight room, of course. Putting on a little bit more weight. Of course, I'm at 190 right now, but of course, at the beginning of the season, I'll be around 200. So, of course, putting on weight, getting bigger and stronger, and getting a little bit faster. I'm a pocket passer type of quarterback, but I would love to show my athleticism as much as possible. Pass first, run later type of quarterback. But also just make sure my team is, living up to the standard, because the standard is the standard. And, we came off a 15-0 season, and, that wasn't easy. So, I got to make sure my team is, on one accord, on one occasion, in the weight room, on the field, and, outside of football, going out places and whatnot. But, I want to make sure my team is prepared and ready for this upcoming season, and that starts, with me. I feel like, player-led teams win championships. So I think, us leading and helping my team get back to a state championship is going to be, very important. But, it starts, in the weight room. It starts in the classrooms. It starts, with activities to do outside of football. So, you have to make sure, your team is, on one occasion. But, with that being said, the standard is the standard, and we have to, get back to the state championship. And, I'm going to make sure, spring, summer, and fall, we get back to that, that category.
I watch your film Air, and I see a left-handed-ish version-ish of CJ Stroud. I don't know if, I've seen comparisons to Michael Penix. I think people only do that because you're left-handed, much like Penix is. I also, on a podcast about a month ago, I questioned out loud whether or not if you were right-handed, Ohio State would have offered a little earlier, because being a left-hander, sometimes it's harder to teach you the way that they want to do things because they're not left-handed. Has there been any conversation with Ohio State about the fact that you're left-handed, and is that weird for them?
Yes, I've talked to a lot of coaches about like the left-handed situation, but me personally, I don't mind throwing left or right. Being a left-hander, you usually get like a different type of release, I would say, from a left-hander. But if you look at my film, it's like I kind of throw like a righty. It's like it's kind of like, is he a true left-hander? But I am. But I don't think being a left-hander kind of is too much different in somewhat way, because the way I throw the ball.
Yeah.
But I'm not your typical left-hander that kind of throws in different type of ways. But I'm myself, and whether that's being a left-hander or not, I think Ohio State loves me as a whole.
Aside from having a name, like Air is not a nickname for people out there watching. It's your middle name, correct?
Right. Correct.
So is the aside from having one of the more unique names to ever come through the quarterback position, what else is Air Noland about? What do you do off the field? What are your hobbies? What are your secret talents? Do you play the kazoo? Like do you have random things that you do for fun other than sports?
Yes, most definitely. Of course, I like spending time with my family. I have a baby sister of mine that's 4. I spend time with her, on a daily basis, every chance I get. I love, going out with my teammates, getting to know them more, and just seeing why they love the game of football and why they want to impact this world. I love hanging around people outside of football and just getting to know about people and about my teammates or about my coaches. And also, I love playing the video game. I love playing Madden. I play Madden, when I get a chance. Of course, it's been busy times lately, but
What
I
team
love.
do you use?
I use a numerous a couple good teams. I use the Chargers, the Bills, and Bucks. Those are my teams. So yeah, but
Not the Falcons. That's got to just be painful.
yeah,
Maybe next year.
not the
Maybe next
Falcons,
year.
but I'm
Maybe
yeah,
they'll have
rise up. I love
maybe
the
they'll have
Falcons.
a quarterback that can do the damage sometime next year. I thought they were going to trade up and put themselves in a position to go after C.J. Stroud, but it looks like Carolina did that instead.
Yeah.
I read that you're like a very perceptive, like people watching type of dude. When you were at Ohio State last weekend, give me one thing about Ryan Day that you were like, oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that, or that you didn't like know about him heading into that trip.
So Ryan Day, Coach Ryan Day, he had his dad had passed away, and he came up with like a mental health type of deal, and I actually have a mental health type of program that's broken crayon still color, and he kind of uh when I met with him, he kind of told me about the mental health situation and how he's dealt with mental health. So that was kind of eye opening. Like outside of football, that was kind of eye opening to know that about Coach Day and how he dealt with the things he have dealt with in the past and how he's become the man he is today.
When you visit a place like Ohio State, obviously the expectations from a football standpoint are always huge. You've
Right.
watched them your whole life. You see them in the playoff. Were you surprised at the attention that Ohio State paid on things other than football? I mean, I ask this question only because a lot of times when I talk to kids, they are surprised that there's a lot more than just football going on at Ohio State. Were you surprised at the way Columbus was as a city, the focus off of the game at Ohio State?
Oh yes, most definitely. Like you don't think Ohio State is Ohio State until you get up there. The people around Ohio State is just second to none, I would say, first and foremost. But, the coaches play a big role, the recruiting staff, the alumni, the players, like everybody is for Ohio State. And, you see why Ohio State is a big time place and why Columbus is a big time city.
Committed to Ohio State. Air Noland, what's the celebration dinner for you and your family now that this is over?
Man, I might get me 3, 4 ice creams. I don't know, man. I need to eat something good. But
Ice cream for a celebration dinner. I
yeah,
guess
cookies and cream.
is your
Cookies.
4-year-old sister gets to pick what you guys eat, I guess, huh?
Yeah, she does.
Well,
She
that's fair.
does.
That's
Yeah,
fair. Maybe she can pick out your new phone number for you too on Monday.
maybe,
It
maybe,
might be easy enough to figure out.
maybe.
But look, man, I really do appreciate you taking time. Congratulations once again on your decision. Look forward to continuing to get to know you over these next few months, and we'll see you back in Columbus for your official visit in June. As the world is not going to stop coming after Air Noland, but he is now committed to Ohio State, and he has spent his time on this episode of Birminology talking about that commitment. Air, thanks again, man. Folks, we'll see you next time.